And we're back. During that little break that I just took, I actually was able to secure myself a spot as a caster for a gold and below tournament that will be coming up sometime in the near future. It is being organized on the general forum of the Battle.net forums. So if you guys are interested in joining that or at least watching it, check out my stream. I don't actually know when that will be going live. I guess I will get back to you guys with an update on that one later. So let's get into another replay. Yes, let's get into another low-level replay. Let's go with this one here. This one sounds really fun. This is called Battlecruiser Adventure. That was actually what he named this replay. I didn't name that one. He did. This is a submission by Copper Mantis. I think we are actually going to be seeing BCs in this replay. If not, I'm going to be very disappointed because you do not call a replay Battlecruiser Adventure if you're not actually going to put Battlecruisers in it. So this is obviously a replay from a previous season, which is why my computer went black for a second because it has to load up the previous client. So this is on the map Shattered Temple. This map is thankfully out of the ladder map pool. This is not one of my favorite maps. You know what? You guys really don't want to hear what I have to say about this map, so let's just introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom position, the 6 o'clock position of the map Shattered Temple, we have the Red Terran player Copper Mantis. And spawning in the top position, we have the blue Protoss player XCPKX. I wonder if CPK means for him what it means to me. CPK is it's a restaurant chain out here in California. It's called California Pizza Kitchen. It's actually really delicious. Really delicious. If you guys are ever out in California and get the chance to go to CPK, check it out. It's actually really good. You know what's surprisingly good at California Pizza Kitchen are their salads, as a matter of fact. They have really good salads. Like they put like all sorts of like they'll like take some of their pizza toppings, like, you know, some of their more oddball ones like avocado, bacon, and yeah, bacon and avocado, by the way. Bacon and avocado goes good on everything. It doesn't matter what it is. You can put it in a sandwich, you can put it on a salad, you can put it in soup. I have had it in soup. It is delicious in soup. So now you know something about me. I love bacon and I love avocado, and both of them are plentiful in the sunny state of California. I love it out here, guys. In case you don't know, I might be doing this a little bit more often in my cast, but Southern California is where I am from, and it is beautiful out here. It is a great day outside, even though I am sitting inside casting StarCraft games. It is to me, it is one of the best places to live, even though it's very crowded and it can actually kind of get on your nerves sometimes, but it's still a great place to live. So this is something I don't see very often. We have a gateway and a forge going down for our blue Protoss player, blocking off his ramp that he's going to be going for some kind of photon cannon play, it looks like. This leads me to believe that Copper Mantis is actually a random player. In fact, actually, yes, Copper Mantis is a random player. That reminds me. Okay, so Copper Mantis is a random player, which is why our Protoss player is going for this super safe Forge Fast expand. He was being very careful that his opponent wasn't Zerg, because I don't know if you guys have played against too many random players on the ladder, but in the lower leagues especially, random players, when they get Zerg, will almost exclusively rush. They're not very comfortable using the Zerg macro mechanics because that actually takes a lot of practice for lower league players to actually really get the hang of. So in the lower leagues, you'll see this a lot, where players will go and they'll tailor their build specifically to counter early Zergling rushes, because it is so dangerous and is so common down in the lower leagues. So that is what our blue Protoss player has in mind. I had completely forgotten that Copper Mantis is actually a random player, and that is actually the ballsiest SCV I have ever seen. That is such a ballsy SCV. He walks right into the Protoss' base and kills a probe right in front of that gateway. And that SCV is just standing there taunting that Zealot. Bring it on, man. Come at me, bro. And now he's just running away, but he is actually going to be taken down. That SCV does pay for the crime of murder on that probe, even though the probe is a robot and you can't really murder a robot. At least not yet. We have a second gateway going down here and a Twilight Council. Still only one gas for our blue Protoss player. And in the Terran's base, we have, once again, the absence of an orbital command, which is just baffling me. You have 500 minerals and you are not making an orbital command. We have a factory going down for our Terran player, as well as an engineering bay and one barracks with a couple Marines stationed outside. We have a zealot going out on the map, probably going to take control of this tower and probably just chill out there. Yep, that zealot is just chilling out next to that watchtower, getting a tan on his blue body. Wonder what sunlight actually does to these blue Protoss bodies. Do they turn like a darker shade of blue, maybe? Maybe they turn green. Maybe that's what Namics are. Maybe all Namics are like Protoss that actually get a lot of sun. Because you remember, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that episode of I don't know if you guys watched DBZ, but there's one episode of DBZ in particular where I think it's just after I remember now. It was when Krillin was taking Dende to go visit Guru. You know, the big old Namek that was a lot bigger than the others that just sat in the chair the entire time. When Krillin was rescuing Dende, he was saying, so why does it seem like your planet doesn't have night? And apparently Dende said because this planet somehow has 3 suns. I don't know how that works astronomically. I don't know how you could possibly have 3 suns. Like, it's not, as far as I know, stars only come in like binary systems, and if they come in like a cluster that's bigger than a binary system, I don't know how you could ever have a planet that would support life in one of those like areas. But somehow, anyway, this planet Namek has 3 suns, so there's always a sun out in the sky, so they never have night, which is why the Nameks are green, apparently. I had another friend of mine tell me that that's why they don't eat either. They have like chlorophyll in their like skin, and they get all their nutrients from sunlight. But I don't know if I buy that. That's too scientific for an anime show geared towards children. And that is, I don't even know what to call this. This is like a pylon block on the watchtower to prevent his opponent from actually being able to use it or something. Oh, that's what he was trying to do, and I guess now he's just realizing that you can't do this. I think he was trying to put those pylons there to hold the watchtower so that he can move the zealot away. And now we have photon cannons being thrown down in the middle of the map. This is something that my friend used to do to me all the time back in StarCraft Brood War on the map Big Game Hunters, is that he would just power up his economy. And obviously, if you've ever played StarCraft 1 Big Game Hunters is a map where you have infinite resources in each base. Not infinite. You've got like 20,000 minerals per mineral field. So, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty infinite. So he would just go out into the middle of the map and be really, really annoying with because he's Protoss, obviously, and can make a ton of photon cannons with just a single probe. Fill the entire middle of the map with nothing but photon cannons, and it would take an hour to clear to the other side. That's kind of what this reminds me of a little bit. It brings back really, really bad memories. I don't like having to clear through like 8 lines of photon cannons only to find out you have a fleet of carriers on the other side. So Austin, if you're watching this replay, you've scarred me for life, man. That little like photon cannon maneuver in the middle of the map brought back a ton of bad memories. We have finally now a command center going down for our Terran player, as well as a fusion core. So this is a fusion core on one base, and this fusion core is actually being proxied over in the corner of the map. So we will be able to see the battlecruisers that are being advertised in this description. We now finally have a second expansion coming down from our Protoss player. He still only has zealots guarding the front of his base, as well as no other tech or units that I can see. So both of these players they're playing peacecraft right now. These two sides are really just at peace. They don't really want to fight. This is not really much of an army. It's more of a militia. Because, you know, Terran has a high crime rate, and Protoss really doesn't. So they really just need, like, a small little police force versus Terran needs a much larger one. They need the cop cars with the sirens and the flamethrowers. As well as, like, I think these would be, like, what, riot cops? The Marauders would be, like, the cops in riot gear? Perhaps. The fusion core is down. The starport is down with a single tech lab. And so I think we will be seeing a battlecruiser built out of there. At some point, you don't make a fusion core and a proxy starport with a tech lab if you don't plan on making battlecruisers. We have a dark shrine now and a warp prism coming in, and we are at 12 minutes, and these two still have not done anything to each other. We have a total of 2 units killed for the Protoss player, as well as a single unit for the Terran player. So these guys are playing very, very passive with each other. Don't really look like they even want to attack each other just yet, but this Battlecruiser is being built for a purpose. We will get to see what the Terran has in mind. If he just wants to use a single Battlecruiser, that would be really, really funny, because our Protoss player has no anti-air whatsoever. If he decides that he wants to walk in with that Battlecruiser, that would actually cause a lot of problems to our Protoss player. I think that's actually what's going to happen here, and if once that happens, I think that will actually start to be really, really funny. So we do have the expansion down finally for our Protoss player. He has not transferred any probes out of that expansion, but that's okay because neither has his Terran opponent. His Terran opponent is actually got a mule that he's not using over in this base, as well as a significant army of Marines and Hellions that would be able to dispatch of this small Zealot squad rather easily. The Battlecruiser is done, Yamato Cannon is being researched, Stim is being researched, and still that's about it. These two do not want to actually attack each other. We are at 13 and a half, we are almost at 14 minutes in here. The supply is at 56 to 53. So these two are playing SimCity with each other. We have a lot of gateways now finally going down. I don't really know how the Protoss has enough money to just throw at so many gateways at once, considering that he's only on 2 base with 27 probes. This Battlecruiser is just chilling here. He is on a scenic voyage to Ire. This Battlecruiser is not actually here on paid military work. He's actually just here on vacation. That's actually a cruise ship with guns on it. That's what that is. It's piloted by a like a Russian dude with a tan. These Zealots are now out here chilling with their brother Zealot, who's told them all of the nice, wondrous things that you can find by the watchtower. He's been showing off his sexy tanned Protoss body, and all the other Zealots are jealous. So now they're all out here getting their tan too, and we still don't have anything going down from our Terran player, except for a Dark Templar that I missed, and I'm really upset that I missed that Dark Templar, because that was like the only bit of action that we've actually seen so far in this game, so I apologize for that. We do have turrets that are already down on the map. We have, 5 High Templar coming in here? How much money is this Protoss actually floating? Okay, so we have 5 High Templar coming into the Terran base. That scan does go down. There is a turret right there as well. All of these High Templar, Dark Templar are visible, and the Terran will be able to clear these up without too much trouble. Or not. That scan finishes just in time. There are still 2 Dark Templar out on the field. They will be able to finish the rest of this Terran army if not for that scan. So now the supply is down to 33 for our Terran player and 56 for our Protoss player. Those Dark Templar did actually do a lot of damage to the Terran's economy. The Terran is now down to 14 workers and plus 2 mules. And we still haven't seen anything with this Battlecruiser. I guess this Battlecruiser finally got upset because so many Terran units died to those Dark Templar that I think he finally decides that he wants to do something about this pesky Protoss that's, you know, intruding on his vacation time. Or not. They were just moving to get a different view. Because he moved this like Battlecruiser I think 2 feet forward and then just kind of chilled there for a little bit. We have 3 observers all moving across the map at once. So the Protoss really wants to know what's in the Terran's base right now. It's not like he just wasn't there, and it's not like he knows that these turrets are here either that are just going to shoot down all of these observers as soon as they get there. So let's see. Here goes one observer. That one gets shot down. We have a second observer coming in here. That one looks like it might get away, and the third observer is going to be okay as well. We have a small group of Zealots over here that are trying to verify what these observers have just told them about the Terran base. And these Zealots can confirm there are in fact Marines and a Marauder up on that ramp. The Zealots don't actually want to fight those Marines, and now they finally do. So they're actually going to start fighting. This Zealot actually wants to hack away at the supply depot instead. And those Zealots go down without really doing much damage. I think they killed like 1 Marine in there. And we've got Dark Templar in here again. This War Prison warped an additional Dark Templar. Those Dark Templar are in range of this turret. But this scan was completely unnecessary because this turret was actually in vision of those Dark Templar. But without any combat troops to deal with those Dark Templar, it doesn't really matter that you can detect them. They're just... And actually, this is a big problem. because the Terran doesn't really have any more combat units in his base except for these 4 units over on this side, as well as no detection. So those Dark Templar are going to be able to finish off what is left of that SCV count. But now we have a second Battlecruiser joining the first one. They are chilling over at the edge of the Protoss' natural expansion. They have not done anything just yet. These Dark Templar are wreaking havoc on the Terran's base. The Terran is being forced to evacuate. But of course, Dark Templar can't actually shoot up. They can't actually do anything to those buildings once they decided to lift off. But the Terran's economy is now completely dead. The only units he has in the field are these Battlecruisers, but like I was actually pondering earlier, the Protoss still has absolutely no anti-air on the map. None whatsoever. So these Battlecruisers are going to be able to waltz right into the Protoss' base and start destroying and start dealing some damage of their own. They start firing at the Nexus. These Battlecruisers have been revealed. What is our Protoss player going to do about these Battlecruisers? He still has not warped in any Stalkers just yet. He doesn't have the gas to, even if he wanted to. These Zealots are still just chilling here, still just working on their tan. These Battlecruisers are doing damage to the Nexus of our Protoss player. The probes have been evacuated. They do not have anything to really do about these Battlecruisers, and this is actually really interesting too. Our Terran player goes for +1 armor on those Battlecruisers, even though our Protoss player has absolutely nothing he can do to fight them with. It is 2 Stalkers versus 2 Battlecruisers. Those are the bravest Stalkers. No, they were not. I was about to commend these Stalkers for their bravery, but they walked right away from those Battlecruisers rather than trying to fight them. They're going back in, and they are going to be destroyed. And with destruction of these pylons, that will actually do it for our Protoss player's ability to create additional units to deal with these Battlecruisers. He is down to 2 warp gates. There is no production left for our Terran player. For our Protoss player. These Zealots are now finally going in to find out that the Dark Templar have already been telling them for an hour now that they can't actually do anything about the buildings that are floating over the map. You know, I see threads like every single day on the Battle.net forums about how it's unfair that Terran can lift their buildings. I suppose in a game like this one, it actually kind of would be. However, I don't really think that it's the fact that Terran can lift off right now that the Protoss is in such a bad spot. Terran isn't even actually focus firing this pylon. All he has to do is kill this pylon, and the Protoss won't actually be able to build any combat units that can attack Battlecruisers at all. This SCV is actually making another command center over on this side of the map, so the Terran will actually be able to recover economically in another couple hours once this command center is actually finished. Those Battlecruisers have done their job. There are no more warp gates that have power. And our Protoss player is not even attempting, and it wouldn't even matter if they could, because obviously this cybernetic score is just now being rebuilt. So these Battlecruisers are going to continue to do damage, and you know what, at this point, because of the speed that those Battlecruisers are actually attacking those buildings, I think I might just speed this up a little bit. So down goes the other Nexus. Battlecruisers are still going to chill, and they are going to take a long time to destroy this Protoss player's base. And we have a ton of photon cannons being built for our blue Protoss player. That will actually protect his base over here from those Battlecruisers, because obviously the Terran cannot win the game until all of those buildings are destroyed. So he is going to continue destroying buildings over on this side of the map. That is obviously going to take quite some time. He just now finds out about the 4 pylons that were built in the middle of the map, and he does shut down the attempts to build Stargates, but obviously without pylons, the Protoss player couldn't make those Void Rays even if he wanted to, so that is not going to happen. The Stargates are going to go down. The Protoss is actually constructing an absurd number of photon cannons, at least attempting to, and again, without power, these Stargates will not actually be able to build anything that can deal with these Battlecruisers. So I'm pretty sure that this is actually going to end with these Battlecruisers slowly whittling away at the Protoss player's base. But we do have a second Stargate down, and we do have 2 more Stargates down. Those 2 are protected by those photon cannons, so he will actually be able to make Void Rays at this point. And the Protoss does now know about this base. He will clear it out. The Terran cannot actually make anything out of that base anymore. During the time that it took me to speed up that, to slow down that replay, the Battlecruisers are now once again over on this side of the map, and I'm now starting to understand why this replay was called Battlecruiser Adventure, because basically the Terran has just those two Battlecruisers. He has no other units out on the map. But with 4 Void Rays out now, I think the Protoss might be in a good position to actually kill those Battlecruisers now. He went through the majority of the game without any anti-air whatsoever, and now finally he's actually able to make Void Rays to deal with those Battlecruisers. So, we will see if these two Battlecruisers are the ballsiest Battlecruisers I have ever seen, and if they can manage to take down all those Void Rays plus those Photon Cannons. I don't think so. I don't think that these two Battlecruisers will be able to do all that by themselves, but we'll have to see. He does see that all those Photon Cannons are down. He does see that those are 6 Void Rays out on the map. 6 Void Rays, right? Yeah, 6 Void Rays. 6 Void Rays and 4 Dark Templar. So here come the Void Rays. The two Battlecruisers will be intercepting those Void Rays shortly, and those Void Rays are actually opening fire on those Battlecruisers. There is no reprisal just yet, but we do have Yamato cannons coming down that will take care of 2 of the Void Rays, but one of the Battlecruisers does go down, and the second one looks like it will be going down shortly. That should be the end of the game. The GG has been called, but Copper Mantis is staying in the game for a moment. I'm not quite sure why. I think he actually might just be waiting. There he goes. So Copper Mantis finally leaves the game after those two very stalwart Battlecruisers were finally eliminated by those Void Rays, and that game was even sillier than the game that came before it. That was one of the silliest games I think I've ever seen. See this right here? Remember what I was saying at the beginning of this game about how the photon cannons that were being built out in the middle gave me bad memories? So does this. You saw this a lot in StarCraft 1, where you would just see like a couple pylons powering a ton of photon cannons, and that would actually take your army like forever to clear through because photon cannons were so powerful in StarCraft 1. So I'm looking at all these photon cannons here, and I'm just thinking to myself, God, there's carriers behind that, I know that. Nope, there's actually just Void Rays. So that was a silly game. Thanks for the submission, Crazy Mantis. I enjoyed casting that. So I will be back in a little while with another replay. I'm going to continue casting until noon. Once again, if you guys actually like this segment, let me know about it. If you guys don't like this segment, let me know about it. I'm looking for feedback from the community constantly. I have thick skin. You want to tell me that I'm no good at casting? That's fine too. Just tell me what I can do to get